Hello and welcome, fellow engineers, to the first voting video for the carrier competition I'm hosting. So unfortunately I had a lot of issues with uploading that one big video with all the entries, and that's why I've decided to split it down into 3 parts. So just make sure that you have a look at all the different parts and all the different ships before voting for someone. How to vote? Well, follow the link on the screen right now to my voting thread on the Keen Software House forum and choose your top 2 ships from all the ships in these videos. First things first, thank you to all of you who've submitted a ship. You've done a fantastic job. Now let's have a look at our first entry. So here we have the A21 Calaic, submitted to us by Rufflenut. So it's a pretty aggressive exterior, I like that about it. It looks very military-like, and yeah, it's a decently sized carrier. So let's have a look at the inside now. These are the front hangar doors where all the fighters are stored, 2 decks of that. I think that's a total of 8 ships? Yeah, 8 fighters. Now let's move on to the main assembly area where we're going to find a medical bay, 2 medical bays, a little bit of storage. So let's move into the cargo area. Here we have access to the lower cannon. There we go. Nice little turrets there. It's obviously got rocket launchers on it. And here we have the large cargo doors opening, which give access to these cargo haulers for hauling cargo, yeah. Anyway, this is also where the fighters need to resupply because unfortunately there's no automatic resupply system on board. So let's continue on to the engineering area. Here we have all the refineries, the assemblers, and all the connectors running throughout the ship, connecting all the various bits and bobs. And here we have the generators, or the power supply, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, not much to say about that. I mean, it's nice and visible. You got that nice balcony to look for faults. Then we have a chute down here that brings us to the gyroscope area. Okay, let's head towards the back of the ship. And this is actually an escape pod, which unmerges from the ship, is located at the bottom of the ship at the very back. And we're not going to test it out right now because it just goes straight down. Let's go up. Right, so here we have the med bay on both sides, mirrored. Then along here we have another access to the top turret. And in here is the backup bridge. Run, 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 run! Here's a rear access, or that was a rear access rather, that was a bit quick. And here we have the main bridge. Nice bridge. Decent visibility. Apart from that big cannon obstructing the view a little bit, but who cares about that? Never needs that. Alright, acceleration test. Okay, that's fine, decent. Okay, maneuverability is also good for a carrier. I mean, it's not too much, it's not too little. Alright, let's move on to the next ship, shall we? So this here is the I-7 Key Class carrier. This was submitted to us by Forgemaster HD, and this front portion is actually just heavy armor. There's nothing in there, so I guess this could be used for ramming. The shape reminds me of a key, so I guess that's where it gets its name from, but I don't know about the whole color scheme. It's a bit, I don't know whether you were trying to go for a kind of camouflage thing or something, I don't know. Anyway, let's go inside. So we have this nice hangar bay entry with fighter resupply units here, and here we have the fighters. I quite like the wings. It reminds me of, real fighters on aircraft carriers, which have them folded up like that. And then over here we have a cargo elevator. So whenever you have cargo entering from the hangar bay, you can bring it up here into a small cargo area, which is actually connected to a much larger cargo hold underneath the hangar bay. And it also has a nice feature. It actually has a very nice cargo ramp which lowers down like this, and obviously a door to close it all together. It's an interesting way of using rotors, I like that. Anyway, let's continue our tour. So here we have some more cargo containers and a hole in the floor. Anyway. And here we are in an interior hangar bay with more fighters. So there's one on each side, it's mirrored obviously. And here we're just opening the doors to the bottom of the ship, which will allow the rotating platform to let the fighters out. So it would seem like someone has watched my rotor video, and I'm quite pleased that you've used this idea, because I don't know, I think it looks kind of nice on a carrier. Here I am being very impatient and not waiting until the door is fully open to rotate the ship's platform. Anyway, let's continue. So up at the very front, I think this is the emergency bridge area, because there's nothing there and it's surrounded by heavy armor. And if we continue going up, we reach some sort of engineering room with a refinery, assembler, and then various maintenance access shafts to conveyors, etc., etc. I had a little bit of trouble finding my way here, because I couldn't find the medical bay. I knew where it was, but I didn't know how to get there. Anyway, here we are at the medical bay. It's actually accessible, I mean, this whole area is accessible from the hangar bay, but I just messed up. So here we are on the main bridge. Nice looking bridge. A little bit of a lack of computer consoles for such a big ship, but oh look! Something's not connected! Anyway, let's go. Right, anything else that I've missed? There are various empty rooms. Nothing much there, and then let's go to the very back of the ship. So this area is where you have all the crew quarters, various rooms, etc. And I hope these are crew quarters. I hope it's not a jail or something. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's crew quarters of various sizes, various shapes. I guess some crew members are more important than others, such as the captain, so they get bigger rooms. You have an exterior access there, and here another access to the cargo bay area. If we come back to the other side, we have a large mess hall with, again, the access at the back to the cargo area. And then let's go back into the hangar bay because we finished our tour. So, acceleration. Well, it seems in order for a carrier. I like that. Now, what about maneuverability? Let's try that. So let's try to move 73 million tons. How's that gonna go for us? Well, seems like it's moving as expected, so that's fine. No problem for a carrier. Let's have a look at the next ship. And here we have the Celeste carrier, which is a ship which was submitted to us by Saxon 912. As you can see from the exterior, it looks like the ship just came out of the shipyard, brand new, brand spanking new. It's well finished. I mean, you can tell that there's quite a lot of detail on the exterior, so I like that about the ship. So here we are in the hangar bay. Now we have all the fighters here, etc., etc. Very nice. But it's a little bit cramped in here. Okay, you have the automatic resupply system here, that's fine. If the hangar doors were a little bit bigger, I think it would benefit the fighters a lot, especially the pilots. Anyway, here we are in the control room. This is probably just a control room for the fighters, etc. And if we go up this turbo elevator, we reach this kind of nice hallway with on either side some crew quarters, bunk beds here. There we go. Alright. A few cargo containers here for storage. And then we have the mess hall, I presume, in the center here. Then in the next room we have the medical base. And then at the front of the ship, of course, we have the cockpit, the main cockpit. Now if we go downstairs, we have on either side 2 access points with merge blocks, which can dock to stations, so 2 docking ports essentially. And then here, and actually this is probably the main bridge, considering there are more workstations, etc. So the upper one may be a secondary bridge. If we go through here, we get to the battle bridge, or the emergency bridge, and that's quite nice with the sentries up there, all the red alert lights. And continuing through, we get into the engineering section with all the refineries, the cargo hold over here, and at the very back we have the power generator for the ship, with some access points there to maintenance shafts. Now down here, this is the red alert bridge. I'll call it the red alert bridge. On either side you have 2 escape pods, in case shit hits the fan. And these actually disconnect from your ship. What I like about these is that they really fit and seem as if they're part of the ship. You know, you can't tell. I mean, the one on the right here, it's not actually an escape pod, but it looks just like it, so that's pretty good. Acceleration. Well, the acceleration's pretty good. Maneuverability? It's a bit too quick for my liking. I mean, I know the ship's all light armor and everything, but in my opinion, it's a little bit quick. Anyway, alright, so that covers pretty much all the features of this ship, I think. It's time to move on to the next ship. Welcome to the Troika. This is G-Fleka's submission, and it's actually a Russian experimental carrier. So it only has 2 entry points to the ship. I've just activated the rotors here, and as you can see, it opens up access to these doors, which allow you entry into the hangars. But how do these hangars open? I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any entry point. Well, that's where the genius comes in. These doors are actually gravity powered with merge blocks, and as you can see here, I've activated all 4 of them, and you can get your fighters to fly out there. Obviously, you need to be a little bit careful when flying out, but I'd never seen something like this being done on doors, so I thought that this is really cool. You can also fly with it. They automatically adjust themselves. Obviously, if you probably go 100 meters per second and then come to an abrupt stop, they'll probably fly off or something, but you know, it's really nicely done. They can also close, merge back together, and you can just continue on flying. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Now let's go inside the ship. Right, so we're on the main bridge. And as you can see, there's an interesting play of colors. I've activated the red alert lights, so that's why it's all red here as well. So I forgot to deactivate the gravity fields from the hangars. That's why I'm going all over the place. Here we have the crew quarters. And if we continue our little tour down the hall here, we have the medical base. I mean, there's nowhere you're going to get lost in this ship. It's pretty straightforward. At the back over here, we have the battle bridge. Again, like, it serves its purpose, so that's fine. And if we go straight through here, we have the cargo hold area, followed by the power and generators and all that. So this is basically the engineering bay. Now, if we come downstairs, we have, oh, gravity, okay. Right, I deactivated that hangar gravity. We have the mess hall here. And then we have the officer or captain crew quarters with personal computers. And over here, what's this? We shall check that later. Let's go into the hangar base first. Now, this really is a no-nonsense carrier. It's huge for fighters, you know? I mean, the actual living quarters, etc., all the other rooms are pretty small, but the hangars themselves, I mean, you can have 8 fighters on each side of this ship, more if you cram them. So you can have a minimum of 16 fighters operational at any one time. Those things that with the merge blocks are actually torpedoes you can mount on the bombers, so that's pretty cool. And here you have, you know, ejectors, which you can use as a kind of flare system. Now let's go into this weird thing that we saw earlier, with the thrusters at the back. As you can see, there are bunk beds here, and another bridge-like area here. Now, you're all thinking, well, this is obviously something that detaches, but look, it just looks like it's part of that ship. I mean, how can that be? Anyway, this ship comes equipped with a gravity drive. As you can see, it's accelerating pretty quickly. There are also these emergency thrusters at the back which punch a hole through the ship in case one of the doors gets damaged and you can no longer steer. So that's pretty good. Now I've detached from the mothership, and as you can see, with the gravity activated, it's pushing me downwards so that it doesn't actually damage anything. I just really liked the way this boarding pod fits in, you know, it's really cool. Anyway, this also comes with a gravity drive, so it can actually have its own quick propulsion system. And I think we've covered everything here, so let's move on to the next ship. This is the ISS Drop, which was submitted by Gearsvaart. Now, this is his first of 2 submissions. He submitted this one as well as a larger one. So let's just take a quick look here at the exterior, and then we'll go inside the hangar bay. As you can see, there's quite a lot of glass being used here for observation points. That's kind of interesting, I guess. And inside the hangar bay, a little bit cramped. The fighters are huge, which is interesting. You have the automatic supply on the roof here, that's fine. Okay, let's go inside the main area. So this seems to be like the assembly point, or I'm not sure what... I don't know, this is just the central room. Back here we have the engineering, which is all fine and dandy. And on the other side, Well, actually, this is still engineering. This is where all the refineries are and the assemblers, as well as all the cargo. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's continue. So up here we have the medical bay. It's a bit strange though, it feels like it's still part of the engineering with the kind of look and feel. Okay, so more cargo containers here, and then you have an access point from the back for a platform, for a station platform or something. Let's just pretend like we're in a turbo lift. Okay. At the back we have the battle bridge. So, nice viewports from the outside. I think a little bit of armor there. Just an armored room would have been a bit better, but anyway, here we have a very nice rear viewport or viewpoint. And these I think are crew quarters, and some more rooms up here. Over here, I think this is the mess hall with a very nice frontal viewport. And if we continue going up, we'll reach the main bridge, which again has a very nice external viewport. So I think he's made pretty good use of glass in this on this ship. And at the top again we have another small viewport, and on either side these large glass lookout points. Now acceleration, yep, that's pretty good for a ship of this size. That's absolutely fine with me. Regarding maneuverability, yeah, that's also fine. I don't see any problem with that. It handles as it should for a ship of that size. Of that size, in my opinion. So anyway, let's move on to the next ship now. And this is the EVN Victory. Reminds me a lot of a pyramid ship with all these triangles, and here we have a very large miner ship on top here, which is fully detachable. Now this was submitted to us by Evenlease, and the access to the hangar bay is done on only one side of the ship through these blast doors. Now I'm just going to go straight inside because these blast doors, I've been having a lot of problems with them every time I crank up the velocity. Anyway, here's the hangar bay, and these are the fighters, so nice fighters. You have the resupply points as well. There's no collection point underneath though, so you better not miss when you're trying to resupply your ship. Anyway, let's go to the front of the ship where we have the main bridge. I've activated the red alert lights, I think. Okay, this is the upper part of the main bridge, and if I come back down, there we go. We have a main access glass corridor, which looks quite nice. If I come up to the side here, we have the battle bridge, again, which is a lot more secure than the main bridge, obviously, that's the whole point. We can see right through to the engineering, where we're going now. Here we go. So we have the cargo bays, the cargo containers, the power supplies, the generators, the assemblers, the refineries, all that good stuff is here. So that's a pretty big and nicely set up engineering bay. Then over here we have various small rooms for crew quarters, etc. So actually I think all the crew quarters are blue in color. So we have 4 crew quarter rooms like that, which are blue. And over here we have the medical bay, obviously, with some nice triangular viewports, and stop going so fast! And then, go back! Okay, the room behind me now is, damn it, that room over there was the mess hall. Anyway, up from the hangar bay, through these shafts, blah 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 blah, up. I was having a little bit of trouble getting up there, but eventually I did. Here we are in the miner ship, which can then pretty easily take off from the mothership without damaging it. When it's connected, it also acts as a help for the thrusters. So the acceleration, well, the acceleration is, yeah, it's fine. It's good for a ship of that size, actually. I like that. Maneuverability also feels like it should, so no issues there. I'm quite happy with that. But in this particular instance, I might have required more maneuverability to cheat my way out of what's going to happen here. Anyway, I crashed, yeah. So that's it for part 1. Let's go and check out what part 2 has in store for us.
Click on the link to watch part 2. Now! Do it now, damn it! Now! You like my sexy voice?